Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, coming live from Five Your Heart, children of God, and that's you. Boy, the chickens were intense, and it hasn't really changed. And I love these shadows and just everything that goes on with this camera. My head got fried at it was actually dedicated to Martin Luther King, but it was more events than that. My face completely got fried, and it was radiation. They were doing frequency attacks on everyone. And me and a girl named Mika kind of fronted on the bus, and we both were having bizarre symptoms. And ever since then, my face stays pretty much like a red tomato, mostly. I am on to discuss a few things if I can stay on track, and I think that I did not post the one. It was very strange timing. Or no, did I post it? No. Old high school people coming out of the wood. They find me or something. I mean, I don't want to be. I know how I don't really know specifically how I would have been remembered. Definitely a brat. I suppose it could have been always taken as she thinks she's better than everyone or something. A girl like me back then, little cutie tooties, is you can't be that nice to, especially to a lot of the boys. And I wasn't allowed to be with anyone, you guys. My parents are very ill, and they played me, and I was told who I could be around. They'd let some people come around for a minute, and then I'd have to end the relationships, and even just friendships. Like it was just to hide all of it, all the abuse. So Marcus, I don't even know if it's really you, because I did try to reach out to you, and John was with me during this moment, because I was like, I don't know if he's okay. Apparently a lot of us have had some interesting events occur, and it was a pretty small class, and you came in later with your brother, and in all white, technically mostly all white, but it's already like, we didn't even have Hispanics. It's a small country school. So, like, what, a couple Hispanic families, if that, one? It's like, I know if any school could have been that white, if you want to call it white. There's no way in hell we would have been able to. And I know I was very upfront and honest. The thing is, I would get blamed, me as the child, to my peers, that I was the racist. No, I'm not racist. And I didn't really have an issue with interracial stuff. I've actually wrote more than one song and stuff about interracial relations, love, and all that. And what is this shadow going on? And so I was trying to, did it get worse if I go somewhere else? And I'm not who I was then. Granted, I can't get the plug in the jug. That's worrisome. And I won't get a proper camera, so my teeth look like, they're not that bad. I mean, they're bad, but they're not like rotting out of my head, okay? This is like a long discussion to say, first of all, what would be the reason to be getting a hold of me? Second, when I did try to get back to you, it would have been, I started to just really, really get everything pulled together about the family assault on my life, extended ex-family, the county, other people in power in the county. I was doing like really well. Most of my videos are pretty outrageous to me. And I don't care really what people think. I used to care. I did care to some degree. I don't anymore. It's not going to matter. I can't fix the narrative. I can't fix how I wasn't able to maintain through what I went through. And then it really, technically in the end, I don't even know, what was, who, who got helped? Nobody. And I just got shredded. That's all I got. Okay, so we put the 3 chickens down, and we never did this together before, and I was actually having a complex PTSD thing again, and I know that people can get healed of it, but mine has been there since I was probably just learning to walk. I mean, a form of it, and it just got bigger with the not able to get that lady away from me, and Tom and Eeek, and then I had this like whole other group following me around. And how do I feel like I do need to clear this up for myself even. I didn't want to be a competitive roller skater. I went into it, I was exposed to it, shown it at 3-4 years old. I picked it up immediately. It was a natural. I was light on my feet, graceful, twisting and turning. I did not want to stay in the sport. Between the ages of 5 to 7, I was fighting tooth and nail, not only Anne, the female caretaker I had, and my first coach. And technically, because I was technically ambidextrous, I don't know how to say it, both, like writing, I wanted to write both hands. I would get confused with certain things, how to learn it, because I didn't have like a predominant left or right-handed. And so not only was the school, but also this coach and Anne, John, this coach, was forcing me to jump the opposite way that I was naturally supposed to jump. And we could say, oh, that's, they didn't know, they were old. Well, when you do that with a kid that's ambidextrous, our brains start to already get extra confused, because our body and mind is saying both, and then we're being forced to go. So say I jumped this way in the air, right? But I wanted to go this way, which technically is a dancer's. Dancers go this way, okay? And in the skating world, people get forced to go the other way because it's just considered easier to do because the flow of the rink. So you're looking at between the ages of 5 to 7, I'm being forced into a sport. I just want to be home horseback riding, being a little cowgirl, baling the hay and cleaning the stalls. And there's a lot of other seedy crap that went on with that situation. I was then forced over to only go to the rink, go to school and maybe play outside sometimes like a normal kid. But technically after school I didn't sleep all night most likely, so I had to get a nap and then go into the rink and train some. As I got older, I reduced it down to 3-4 days a week because I didn't want to be doing it anymore. And actually I lost my entire competitive edge by high school when I lost my skating partner. I was getting too tall. Him and I were almost not this fully same height, but I was more longer legged. He was shorter legged. We had gone through most of our puberty. I was a late bloomer. So I'm having to do these starvation things. He's upset that that the coaches and stuff are making me starve myself. I mean, it doesn't make you a happy girl. And so I was only hanging in there because I wanted to skate with pairs with David, but then we were losing it too because he's having his own addiction and personal life, family, tragedies and things going on. And so we're about 15, 16. I think we were 15. We went to Sicily for the tour, and I wanted to just stay in Sicily, okay? Him and I were fighting. He wanted to be romantic with me, and Tom had already threatened us in person, together and separate. And so I just wanted to get out of the sport, and I knew David and I were not compatible, and it would have never been good. Like I would have been on him all the time about his drinking, or maybe I would have just became a drunk with him. I was so uptight and stuff back then. I'm not the same person I was, and some people know that and some people don't. And maybe I'm harshly judging myself. What is she doing? I'm just got these like green beans. I've put a bunch of seeds out. Hopefully we can wrap this up. I'm going to go into the chicken spiel because I've never done this full of a prep on a chicken, and I was like hanging out with them. I have no problem buying meat from a butcher or ones that aren't even gutted. Okay, I've done, I can handle it. You know what I'm saying? This is just different because it was more of a sudden thing. Like we had to do it, and I went into a complex PTSD because of what I saw the chickens. How it was just an immediate shift. The dynamics, their entire dynamics. It was just like they were no longer together. It was just like chicken Armageddon going on. I still am like, I'm not okay still over it. And I'm a fight and flight, so I'm going to, and I don't, want to be fight and flight. Nobody would. The fact that I've never been able to get rid of it, and I'm sure that that's why they just kept giving me a pill, because they didn't know what else to do with me, and they didn't believe it. They didn't believe the abuse and the pedophile rings and stuff had to be covered. So what I'm saying is I am not the girl I was at 16, 17, 18, 19. The young woman I was 20, 21, 22. I was already popping Jesse out at between 22, 23, I believe. It was like where it fell on my birthday, And a lot of it, I'm glad I'm not who I once was, but then just holding on to this thing that I shouldn't. Put a plug in the jug. I am not looking forward to. We drained the chickens, but we weren't like, this was not like what we thought we were going to be doing. And so we got that done together, and he helped, and John, before he went to bed, because he's on a different, we're on different shifts. And so I try to see him or be up at that certain hours, and then he gets up, and then we have time together. But I was like pretty much a demon yesterday, myself. I don't know if it was because the chickens had been demons for 3 days, so I was manifesting their behavior, because that's like really, quite frankly, what it looked like. I mean, I didn't attack John or anything, so is that clear? Okay. And I didn't beat cops up. My brother, and there's other people that actually flooded that rumor, and my family never looked into police brutality. The way the police handled me was so inhumane and disgustingly over the top, horrible, and my ribs were cracked and some were busted, and nobody did nothing about it. And they tied me down at a hospital like an animal to get copious amounts of my blood. And that was in the fall of 2002. And it was one of my last attempts at trying to get things recorded. And I was actually really not well. I was very cross addicted, but I was still trying to call in CPS and stuff for my son. And they never would help. And it actually, anytime I did call anything, things would get way worse. I would have never thought that Tom, the man that raised me, would have been the most instrumental part in completely destroying my livelihood and my future. And Eeek, the fake brother, was very intricately involved. And Kim, the oldest sibling. It's really bad. And I would like to, and I'm going around in a circle here. Marcus, why are you getting a hold of me? You got my email now. I think I put that on my YouTube, right? But like, what do you guys want? Okay, just let's be upfront and honest. We have a lot to do, and we get copious amounts of just, we get attacked. We get sick. If you want to call it demonic, whatever you want to call it. I mean, We knew this guy here before we even moved in because he was already bothering us before we even signed on the dotted line. We were just looking at the house. And I was hesitant. And that's been we've actually been having arguments again because I'm like, wouldn't we have known not to? Or why does God keep putting us in these circles? These organized, they're literally organized. And it took all the way here we were, and when we were in the double wide, it was the same thing. We accidentally, we accidentally busted up like a trafficking ring. And if I recall, I remember John saying something that night. We were walking the dogs late. And he was like, that girl is too young. It was something like that. It was like, that girl is like really young. Like, and we try to ignore these things. We really would. We don't go around looking for these things like, hey, what kind of trouble can we get in with ourselves and have people want to kill us? You know what I mean? No, we're just like, it's like we were, we'd seen this thing with the car and by the office, but that the office isn't helping us with the neighbors who are horrible. I mean, just horrible, like up, knocking, slamming on our doors, yelling at us that you're this, you're that. And one guy almost choking me. I mean, it's like, because Pella was half husky and she would howl. She was so excited to I'd go rollerblading with her. And she's a husky. She was mostly a husky with lab, like, flair to her, too. And so she's just a baby, too. She's just a puppy. She was still young. And this guy, the other guy on the other side, flew over on my property, our little postage stamp, and nearly choked me on the port. He had he went, and she didn't howl long, it was just, he flew over at me like a bat out of hell. And it's always a guy like that. Always a guy, always threatening these perverts. I don't know. And I don't even want to I don't want to look at them. I don't want to wave. I don't want nothing. And they just glare. And then they have been known to just randomly try to physically assault me. His wife left, thank God. I knew her family. And I'm thinking, how could she deal with this guy? I went to a jewelry party at their trailer, and a jewelry party, yeah, that's me, fully, yeah. Put me in an Avon group of women. Oh my God. Where's the door? Can I leave now? If I sneak out back, is someone going to know I left? So I guess really what I need to know, Marcus, that I did block you. I will unblock the email. I'm like, I don't even know if this is him, John. And if you have some sort of, I mean, is it something like important? Like, is it really important? And this is a very long video to say I am not looking forward to this plucking. And I found a method online, but I don't have the equipment. And we weren't expecting to have to do this yet. Now I've got him semi-iced. We drained the blood, and I can tend to make things really too complicated when I first learn something because I've never learned it. And then I'll settle down later can I just do one in a pan on the stove? I didn't want to do that in the house. And so then I was thinking an open fire. I don't have a propane, or no, what do I do have? I was going to say the camping stove, but I can't get that big of a pot. I don't know, I think the guy said 150 or something. And now I already cut part of the foot off of them. Well, he saves them for dunking. And that seems the most efficient that I could see. And since I only have 3, and from what they felt like, I mean, I don't even know if it's worth the time. I mean, they were getting pretty big. I'm going to go back to gardening. And if I couldn't just keep a few egg layers, then it's not for me. And we're not supposed to. I'm just like going into this like, just jump. Oh no, I know. And then I call it chicken therapy. Those chickens, it's just like a group of bratty girls, and I did some older videos on it. like mean, scary girls. Like if you get them and they're together and they can plot and scheme and destroy one victim. I got chicken therapy through these little goof balls, and I'm scared to go out because I think there's two more that actually have to go. And I know the one isn't even worth the time to pluck it. It just ain't gonna be enough. I shouldn't laugh because I feel like it's being like indecent to living animals. I prayed and cried over every single one that John pinned down, and I tried to calm and cover their eyes and chop the heads, and I prayed the whole time. And I I mean, obviously I can do it if I need to, but I'm pretty sure my one old friend, she probably wasn't seeing this be very like a good thing for me if I had to kill him. So it's not. It's not. I can help like a butcher prepare or even skin, but I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Like if it's a deer, I'm gonna be praying the whole time, and it's nobody wants to be around me, crying and thanking the Lord and praying, asking for. I'm a little odd. That's for fucking sure. Is long story short, I guess it's okay, but like the weirder two part is that you were getting a hold of us, and it was the worst 3 days that we've had in a long time. It definitely challenged our bond again, and I don't know what to do, if the chickens are going to be okay. I want to show you this egg though. Now this is from this a smaller one. She's a smaller chicken, so they're not very big. These are little teeny. This makes it look a lot bigger. What could I compare it to? Anyway, she was spitting them out on the top of it's like this little cave I did, and then they had like an upper and a lower level to kind of perch on with some ventilation and things. And this is ridiculous. So here's a nickel, and there's the egg. They're cute. And they came out virtually clean. She popped them out virtually clean, and they looked good. The shell seemed good and strong. They're still young. I mean, they're still just going to be developing them, and a lot cleaner than like the ones we were getting. Ones that weren't washed at another farm. Those are really dirty. These are not that dirty. The only reason this one had the dirt on it was because she was up on the dirt hill. But then whatever went haywire, and I'm worried that the Wyandottes, they're just perfect. It's like I'm really impressed. So look way better than the place we had changed over to. We had another farm we were getting eggs, and way cleaner. I don't know if that's just that someone gets to them sooner. Yeah, I mean, so a lot of what we did without taking like a specific course, we did pretty well. It's just too much dynamics going on, and I don't think I should have waited. Prices were going up on little chickens and restrictions and this and that and the other on baby chickens, and we just wanted to give it a whirl, and it could have went right. But quite frankly, I wonder sometimes if there's anything that me and John are really allowed. I know that sounds immature, like we have so much here now, in a way, and I mean, him and I always really did want to be just out in the middle of nowhere, but we go back and forth. We went back and forth on that too. It was like, I'm not safe near predators, but the predators are going to come out in the middle of nowhere and find me. And I'm getting so old and stuff, and I'm like, I'm chubby, and I look like I've been through hell, because, well, I have. I've been through hell. And it's like, they don't stop. Oh, God, they might have found a chicken. At this point, I just don't even care. I know that sounds horrible, but... Come on, let's go. In. No, in. I know that seems firm, but they're mostly strong breed dogs. It's the only thing that has worked. I had to be a lot firmer with them in so many ways than I ever had to train a dog. So I'm going to go